People are craving a return to simplicity. We can see this in the type of media that people are starting to consume, the books they're reading, the TV shows that they're watching, the video games that they're playing. So how do we move beyond the aesthetics of old money, hobbitcore, cottagecore, the things that we are wearing, and actually live that fantasy? Okay, so one of the things that I used to think that was a very limiting belief was that you had to be rich to enjoy nature. I know. It's wild, it's a silly thing, but this idea that you had to have property to be able to explore the property. You had to have acres of land in order to grow anything. You had to have that manor house up on the hill apart from everybody else so that you could do like the stereotypical fox hunts. That was my belief. And I believed that way longer than I should have. Which is kind of ridiculous because if you think about it, there's entire documentaries about good old boys that are dirt poor that make a living hunting alligators in the Louisiana bayou. Like, they enjoy nature. And so this limiting belief of you have to have money in order to go is strange to me. Another idea around that is in order to really be able to immerse yourself outdoors, really be able to let yourself go, live that mindful experience, is you had to have money so that you could afford to not work that day. Presently, if you've watched this channel before, you've noticed that I've been taking a lot more video outdoors. A lot more time is spent bringing content to you from out there. Sorry, I know that was like me pointing at you, but there's a window behind there, which is why I look so good. My present belief is that the outdoors are really for everybody. There's nothing that holds us back. I have found immense joy walking outside and exploring the things that the neighborhood has to offer. I've found bird sanctuaries within a 5-mile drive. I've found these green pathways that if you go out there at any given day, there's little ground squirrels and tree squirrels and rabbits all over the place. I've found that some of my neighbors in their front gardens have created these little cottage gardens that have these beautiful flowers throughout the year. And I've noticed mostly that the idea that you have to be rich to enjoy nature is one of the silliest ideas that I ever had, because nature is all around us. And it just takes a moment of stepping back and stepping out of our need for the latest and greatest to really emphasize how great nature is even right here around us. Hell, I went to a park and I sat in a field with prairie dogs the other day and just let them yip at me. Wild, kind of dumb, but it was enjoyable. Some of the benefits that I've found for being in nature is the ability to turn your brain off of the current issues and just take a moment to observe the world around you. Now, I believe that humans were meant to be a part of nature rather than apart from nature. It's my own personal belief. It's something that was ingrained in me. Seeing the birds, being outside in the blue sky, getting that vitamin D fix, and stepping away from technology for just a little bit. It really is amazing, and nature is one of those pathways that I think is absolutely perfect just for that. I read a book once called Rewilding, and I wish I remembered the author, but he talked a lot about taking your shoes off and literally touching the ground with your feet. There's something transformational about letting the grass tickle your toes, putting your feet in sand, going and wading in the tide pools and letting the water lap at your ankles. Not much can beat those feelings. And those are feelings that you will never get from technology. And so like going out into nature allows us to do that. The reality is, as I took this idea that you had to have money, you had to be rich to experience nature, and realized that through park systems and open spaces and nature preserves within the city, even that I live in. And I did a cursory look. I looked and saw that most cities around the United States and Europe have some sort of public park, some sort of access system where you can go out and experience nature. Even Manhattan, of all places, one of the most densely packed cities in North America, has a giant Central Park. You can find little bits of nature no matter where you are. And actually, that brings me to asking you a question. What are some places that you like to go in your own town? Do you like parks? Do you like the rivers? What do you like to do out in nature? So this limiting belief that you needed money has slowly been replaced by this understanding that nature is accessible no matter where we are. Maybe the type of nature that we desire is not available without money, but we can still go outside. We can still live our hobbit life if that's what we desire, and go and walk in a forest or in a meadow. And really the benefits, the mental, physical, emotional benefits of just being outside and realizing that just for one moment that you are a part of something bigger than yourself. As the sun shines down on you, or as the rain falls down on you, whatever the weather is at the time, that you are a part of something bigger, is just, it's very powerful for me. And I find that I love that more than anything else. And I hope that feeling for you. And so I'm going to challenge you to find a time to go experience nature this week. I know many of us feel like we're stuck indoors, especially as the weather starts to change, and it gets very hard to go out and be a part of something like that. But I want to challenge you, and then come back and let the community know how it went. Did you feel that connectedness? Did you feel like you were a part of something bigger, or were you just like, man, that Steve guy is full of it and I am not listening to him again? Either way, come back and let me know. And we'll see you on the next video.